Mecca, one of the world's holiest cities, is almost unrecognizable today. Streets have turned into rivers, cars float like toy boats, and disillusioned families struggle to find safety. What should have been a normal day quickly turned into a disaster. By late afternoon today, at least 4,800 people were confirmed dead. Tens of thousands more were missing, and property damage was now estimated at more than $17 billion. It is considered one of the worst floods in Saudi Arabia's modern history. But how did a desert city, one so important to global religion and culture, come to be submerged? Could it have been prevented? And what lessons can the world learn from this tragedy? Join us as we analyze what happened in Mecca today, how it unfolded, the stories of the people on the ground, and the lessons what this disaster teaches us about climate change and fragile cities. This morning, dark clouds gathered over Mecca. By 9 a.m., rainfall was already overwhelming drainage systems. By noon, over 120 millimeters of rain had fallen, 3 times the average monthly rainfall, in just 6 hours. Entire neighborhoods went under. In Al-Mukhar, eyewitnesses described torrents of water cascading through streets that usually see bustling pilgrims and traders. Jeddah, Medina, and several provinces reported similar chaos. In Jeddah, highways were cut off, leaving thousands stranded. Rescue workers used boats, yes, boats, to navigate streets. By 1 p.m., emergency services issued the highest-level weather alert. Civil defense begged residents, stay away from valleys and low-lying areas. But for many, it was too late. Families trapped on rooftops waving for help. Pilgrims at hotels unable to leave as floodwaters filled the lobby. Cars swept away toward the desert, vanishing into muddy torrents. By evening, more than 3,500 cars had been destroyed, 200 shops flooded, and 15,000 homes lost power. Hospitals were overflowing with the injured. One survivor told reporters, "It felt like the city was drowning. We thought we were safe here, but nature proved otherwise." To understand why this flooding was so severe, we need to look at 3 critical factors: the weather, the city itself, and climate change. Meteorological shock. The storm system brought record-breaking rainfall. Strong winds exceeding 55 kilometers per hour worsened the disaster, toppling power lines and stirring up debris. The storm was so intense it also affected the Red Sea, raising wave heights up to 2.5 meters. Urban vulnerability Mecca has rapidly expanded in the past 30 years. Skyscrapers, highways, and shopping centers replaced valleys and natural waterways. Unfortunately, the city's drainage system was not designed for storms of this scale. Once rain exceeded capacity, the water had nowhere to go. Experts say the concrete jungle has replaced floodplains. When water comes, it doesn't soak, it floods. Climate change factor. Desert countries like Saudi Arabia are experiencing more extreme weather swings. Hotter air holds more moisture, leading to sudden, violent downpours. This is not an isolated event. Similar floods struck Jeddah in 2009, killing over 120 people. But today's Mecca flood was even more destructive. What happened today wasn't just a freak storm. It was a perfect storm, where nature collided with human vulnerability. Statistics tell us the scale, but it's the stories that remind us of the human cost. The shop owner in Mecca, Abdullah, a small business owner, watched helplessly as water poured into his electronics shop. In 30 minutes, everything was gone. Computers, phones, my life savings washed away. His shop is now filled with mud and shattered glass. The family on the Highway A, mother and her 2 children, were driving from Jeddah to Mecca when their car stalled in rising waters. Stranded, they climbed onto the roof. Neighbors formed a human chain to pull them to safety. The father, stuck in another city, cried when he saw his family alive on television. Pilgrims in the Haram Mosque. Inside Islam's holiest site, thousands continued to pray even as floodwaters rushed outside. Volunteers distributed food and blankets to pilgrims trapped in surrounding hotels. For many, this test of faith was as emotional as it was physical. In the face of disaster, we see both tragedy and incredible resilience. Communities helping one another, strangers saving lives. It reminds us that even in chaos, humanity shines through. This disaster isn't just about today. It's about ripple effects across Saudi Arabia and beyond. Transportation. Airports in Jeddah faced delays. Highways linking major cities were impassable. Supply trucks carrying food and medicine were stuck. Economy. Insurance companies estimate billions in damages. Small businesses, many uninsured, may never recover. Tourism and religion. Mecca hosts millions of pilgrims each year. With hotels and infrastructure damaged, there are growing concerns about safety during upcoming religious seasons. Regional effects. Medina, Riyadh, Tabuk, and the Eastern Province all reported heavy rain and flooding. In Tabuk, residents even witnessed rare snowfall after the storm. The message is clear. Disasters don't stay local. They ripple across economies, societies, and even faith. So, what do we learn from this? Preparedness saves lives. Early warnings must be taken seriously. Too many ignored advisories to stay home. Flood education campaigns should become routine, especially for pilgrims unfamiliar with desert storms. Urban planning must adapt. Mecca cannot continue expanding without sustainable infrastructure. Drainage, flood channels, and early warning systems are not luxuries, they're necessities. Climate change is real. Saudi Arabia is often seen as immune to extreme storms. Today proved otherwise. Every country must prepare for a future of unpredictable weather. Disasters teach us that safety isn't just about reacting. It's about preparing, adapting, and respecting nature's power. Today, Mecca suffered one of the worst floods in its history. Lives were lost, property destroyed, and faith tested. But even in the darkest waters, stories of courage and solidarity emerged. As we reflect, let us remember, disasters don't only challenge cities, they challenge us as people. Will we learn? Will we adapt? Or will we wait for the next tragedy? If this story moved you, please help us spread awareness. Click like, share this video with your friends and family, and subscribe for more in-depth reports on global events. Together, we can turn awareness into action, and action into safety.
Thank you for watching.